Good morning, my fellow seafolk. I am the SalmonPink, and today I'd like to bring you a new and hopefully recurring show to the channel that I've had brewing in my mind for quite a while now. One that blends my love for two things I consume on a daily basis: gatchas and coffee. And what a coincidence it is that I enjoy my waifus the way I enjoy my coffee. Hot and steamy. Oh boy, I already regret it. Well, I do take my coffee black, so take that as you will. Speaking of, here's the brew I have for today's video. The coffee for today is the Tropical Coconut Medium Roast from Copper Moon Coffee. They're a family roasting company based out of Lafayette, Indiana, and this is the first coffee I've tried from them. It's a well-balanced roast that does indeed have a light coconut flavor alongside hints of hazelnut and caramel in the aftertaste. I had my cup early in the afternoon while I was writing this, and it had a nice balance of bitter and light flavors. We're smack dab right in the middle of summer right now, and on a 33-degree day, I think this is a great coffee to have that's both easy on the palate and not too strong. Well, now that the coffee's hot, let's jump right into the game. Episode 1 will be kicking it off with Alice Fiction, a newly released puzzle battle RPG by Wonder Planet Inc. This game was highly recommended by both friends and coworkers of mine, stating that I would love it on aesthetics alone. Now, I know everyone has a certain type, but as soon as I saw the logo for Alice, I immediately slammed it for being a riff on Evangelion's Nerve logo. But then, pardon me, I lost my fins for a second there.
Counter!
You see, Alice Fiction takes place in a metaverse-like program. Like if someone took the Emoji Movie and put it in the blender with Sword Art Online and Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. The influence is impossible to miss. From you diving into a new and unknown world seemingly full of madness, the playing card motif used in the different types of combos for combat, and the governing AI of the world being called the Queen. Not that I'm complaining, of course. I recently finished reading Alice in Borderland and absolutely loved it, so I'm here for it. You as the player and other NPCs act through their in-game avatar in the world of Alice. There's kind of a meta-narrative of you, the person, opening up the app on your smart device and entering into the game, being a representation of the story happening in the game. And while this isn't the first game or piece of media to do such a thing, I always do enjoy little subtle fourth wall breaks when it's done like this. Alice Fiction also throws its own name into the mad hat of psychology mind snuffs by mixing in some philosophy about identity detachment phenomenon, where players who spend too much time in Alice end up dissociating from the real world and their bodies recess into a vegetative state. Kind of a metaphor for when we get wrapped up in online games and gachas that we actually forget to FGO outside, and our social life and bonds deteriorate and regress to a state of being a shut-in because we become so attached because of the parasocial relationships that we forged over ourselves or a lack of basic human connection. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to get so real there. Although if you are up for that kind of video, do let me know. How about we get more into the game itself instead? So, as I mentioned earlier, Alice Fiction uses a puzzle battle RPG system for its core gameplay. You have a team of 4 main units with 2 backups. Each unit is represented by one of the 4 playing card suits for which you'll match and break crystals to form your attacks. Breaking 3 crystals will form a skill crystal that will trigger after regular attacks. But if you combo the skill crystal in a 3-chain, you'll get it again at a higher level, maxing out at level 3. It's simple enough, and you've got about 10 seconds to combo off before your attacks are sent out. The game sports regular stages where you progress the story, hard stages for grinding anima, the memory fragments that you need to rank up your folklore, resource quests for EXP, items, and credits, the underground acting as a daily tower run for all sorts of goodies, Memory Search, which is a timed cooldown that nets you free world memories, which are the game's equivalent of FGO Saint Graphs. Battle Arena, where you have your standard PvP. The Team Hunt being a raid boss rush with your team. And there's also Event Quest, of which the first event is now underway, but more on that later. Your daily login will involve running through most of these modes to clear your daily quests, alongside whatever event might be running for some bonus content. As far as units go, the characters you recruit are called Folklore, which is a little too on the nose considering the game's general theme, as well as the characters themselves being notable personalities from all throughout history, or as some would call it, folklore. And what's Alice Fiction's excuse for gender bending the characters more than the entire user base of Tumblr does? Well, it's because folklore are based on both the general memories and social perceptions of the inhabitants of Alice. Although I definitely feel like there's something wrong with our society if our interpretation of Surtur the Fire Giant is a fire chainsaw wielding punk lolly, Marie Antoinette showing up as a Gucci fashionista supreme, or Saito Musashibo Benkei showing up as Discount Chika Fujiwara. I am, however, perfectly cool with Hannibal being a neo-edgelord gaming addict version of Uni from Xenoblade Chronicles 3. You hear that now? Bismarck wants something a bit meatier. I do have to concede though, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. Everything from the character sprites, the animations, the battle arenas, and the visual effects are incredibly polished. The UI is very clean and all the menus are very easily navigable. Even the load times are quite fast, which is incredible given how smooth everything runs. Mind you, I am running the game on a brand new Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE, so your mileage may vary. But even considering that, it still runs buttery smooth. Now that we've covered the core gameplay loop, why don't we do a couple polls? So I did 2 rounds of polls during my recordings for this game. One on the banner that was on RateUp when I installed the game, and another for the new summer event. As far as numbers go, on a regular draw you have a 2.5% chance of pulling a 3-star character, 18% for a 2-star, and 79.5% for a 1-star. On a 10 pull, the 10th draw is guaranteed to be a 2-star or higher unit, with the rate for a 2-star changing to 97.5%. On RateUp, the individual units have 0.7% chance of showing up if they're a 3-star. All things considered, that's actually pretty good, especially since those numbers are identical to Princess Connect, a game whose gacha environment I rate quite highly. At any given time, there will be 5 different banners to pull from: a feature character draw, a feature world memory draw, a general character draw, a general world memory draw, and your daily free item draw. That being said, I'm not a fan of having separate draws for the characters and the world memories. The separation from characters and the equips that give them important stat buffs is unhealthy for free players and may discourage them in the long run. As much as having them be in the same pool would slightly dilute the pulls, I do believe that Fate Grand Order got it right by doing it this way so that you can use your quartz much more efficiently. And yes, Alice Fiction calls it quartz as well. Alice Fiction also has a pity system, where if you do not get the unit on RateUp within 200 pulls for a character or 120 pulls for world memories, you can exchange the equivalent amount of points for any of the units that are on RateUp if you don't have them, or 50 medals to help ascend them if you do. As you can see on screen, the draw preview is also privy to spooks, sometimes even multiple ranks up. The roll indicator at the start will usually be gold or rainbow, the former indicating the highest rarity is a 2-star, and the latter being a 3-star. When I rolled Surtur here, she was initially displayed as a 1-star drop in the 10 pull, but it's always nice to have some surprises. Lastly, a single pull runs you 300 quartz, and a 10 pull runs you 3,000 quartz. As far as acquiring it goes, you'll get 50 for each stage you clear, 40 for completing all your daily quests, either 50 or 100 for regular player achievements, and of course, a good bulk of 1000s and 3000s as new login bonuses go. As far as rate of acquiring goes, it's pretty similar to Princess Connect again, since the numbers line up pretty well. The rate of spending, however, is doubled as opposed to Precon's 150 cost single pulls and 1500 multis. This means that on average, you should be able to do a couple rolls on a banner, and with any luck, get most of the units you're gunning for with enough saving. But you may see supplies dwindle much faster than you can earn them. All that being said, it still isn't the worst I've seen, so with our rolls done here, let's take a quick peek at the current event before wrapping everything up. So, the first event is a summer-themed competition, where the main characters form 3 teams that will battle each other to win a brand new car! No, I'm just joking. We actually don't know what the prize is. They never really say what kind of competition or prize it is, but let's just assume it's the wonderful summer times or the friends we made along the way. You'll go through event battle stages and eventually get to a boss fight. Clearing the regular stages gives you tickets that lets you challenge the boss, and beating the boss nets you tickets that you can use to exchange for rolls in an item prize pool. By clearing the boss, you'll also be given the limited event Summer Anderson. Coincidentally, this is identical to how events run in Princess Connect. Now, while I neither have the time to wait for the start of the next event, nor the patience to find out, I'm going to assume that all the events in this game will run the same way. On one hand, it's quite a convenient method that's been tried and tested. It's straightforward, and what you have to do for event rewards is very clear. On the other hand, it certainly lacks originality or that fun oomph that I would expect from something like an event. The event story is quite bland as well, which is a shame because the story takes place in a digital metaverse. Using the setting to break some rules and having something more exciting happen without worrying about the logistics of it would have been much more interesting. This may or may not come off as surprising, but when I think of good events and gachas, a lot of them come from Fate Grand Order. Battle in New York, aka Gilfest making it rain, Summer 2 being a deadly race with a twist, Summer 4 with a tournament in Las Vegas featuring 7 sword beauties, Summer 3 being one of the very best, or a seemingly normal summer vacation to Hawaii takes a turn for the weird when you're trying to create your very own dojin for a convention, but a god who's been trying to get the perfect suntan gets in your way. Or my favorite event in all of gachas, the Garden of Sinners collaboration in Fate Grand Order. That was peak gameplay and storytelling for an event. Also, go watch the Garden of Sinners movies. Hot damn, those are nice. Anyways, I was a little let down by the event here, so why don't we use that as an opportunity to wrap everything up. Alice Fiction is a very well-rounded gacha that has a lot of the quality of life changes that other gachas have taken years to implement. It has characters with fun designs, gorgeous visual effects, and a passable soundtrack. It does take a lot of elements from other popular gachas like Fate Grand Order, Arknights, and Princess Connect. In that regard, it does feel like it loses a lot of originality. That being said, it is incredibly free-to-play friendly and has a great option for anyone looking to get into a new gacha. It being newly released also helps since it has a whole lifespan ahead of it. As far as I can tell, both the Japanese and global versions had a simultaneous release, so there's nothing but surprises and fun to be had as we see where the game goes. However, you may find that the game also suffers from a lack of original feel, gameplay, designs, and storytelling. For some, I know this might be a deal breaker, but I know for others they won't mind, since the character art and sprites will be more than enough to keep them around. Overall, while I can't say it's a bad game, I can say I have gotten bored of Alice Fiction over the 4 days I've spent recording this. Thus, I'd like to bestow it a Silver Salmon ranking. But the coffee has run out, and so has my time here. With that, I'll leave you all with a bit more gameplay before I sign off. So, what do you all think? I've had an itch to make a gacha review series for a while now, and I'm sure the more I make the better I'll get at it. It was a ton of fun just diving into a new game and getting to tear into it a bit. Although I kinda wish I could have started the series with a game I was more familiar with, but that's completely fine. I may even go back to gatchas I previously played and make episodes about them too. Since this is a series I'd like to keep doing, I'll even put this out there. Want me to do an episode on a gacha you play? Just let me know in the comments below, or on Twitter at @SalmonPink. So long as I haven't made an episode on it, your game is on the table. And while I already do have another game downloaded and prepared for episode 2, I'd love to get the chance to hop on from game to game and see what else the world of gatchas has to offer. Until then, I'll catch you all in the next one. Stay safe, my friends, and as always, have yourselves a damn good one.